Hey y'all, Miss Jeannie Brown here from GCISD's Digital Learning Department. Let me show y'all some awesome things about the Newline board in case you missed PLC or in case you were one of the groups that I forgot one of the zillion things that I was supposed to show y'all. So you are going to two-finger swipe up. I call them my peace sign fingers. And you're going to two-finger swipe up. And if it doesn't work, hit this little gear up top. This display panel has everything you could possibly need. So you can turn up and down your volume. So if you've ever played a video and you have the bottom volume turned up, you have the video volume turned up, you've even got this little button down here, clicked up, and it's still quiet, two-finger swipe up and mess with this one. This one will increase your volume in addition to the other ones. Brightness, let's say you want a little bit dimmer because the lights are off. You don't want it to be too bright. You can do that as well. So these two toggles are lifesavers. Then you also have my favorites. If you have the toolbar on your right side, but it's missing from the left side, and only a teacher will know how you can lose a class in a matter of seconds by having to walk across to the other side. So peace sign fingers, two-finger swipe up, sometimes a little Scentsy pants. So if you go right here, if I click those off, notice how my toolbars are gone. So if you only have one toolbar showing, two-finger swipe up, and if you click those on, now they're both available. Another great feature is the freeze feature. You can't find your remote, kind of like it is at home, and you want to freeze what we are watching, freeze what we're doing. You don't want kids to have access to the board. So you are able to freeze it. So the best way to show is to have something that's moving. Two-finger, swipe up, and freeze. It lags for a sec, and then you can see it caught, but the music is still playing behind. Tap it, and it unfreezes. Similarly so, I can two-finger swipe up, and I can mute. Because sometimes it's kind of hard to get this panel to display without kind of clicking out of it. So if you notice you keep trying to click and it's, not going for you, or you're clicking it too hard, two-finger swipe up, and you can do the sound and the volume right from here. If you ever notice you only have one, it's a couple pages, so just slide down so that way you can see your other ones. Now, since I'm on this main home screen, I'm going to hop and show y'all the cool features on here. So you are able to add these awesome little gadgets at the bottom. So if you hit the plus sign, this one goes to your connection, this one blue for your PC, and this one is orange. So all of these are your gadgets that you can add. Since I've clicked the add button, whatever I select or unselect will be added. And if I want to open them, I can just open them right here. So this first one that I want to show y'all is Newline's classroom tools. So classroom tools, you can move this around. So you have, and I'm going to put it on a white board so you can see them as I pull them up. You have your instructions. They remind me of little class dojo, little widgets. Ask a neighbor. So class, we're going to be working, or we're going to be doing a turn and talk. Miss Brown, how long is the turn and talk for? Well, it is going to be 2 minutes. So you're going to have 2 minutes to turn and talk with your neighbor. When that 2 minutes is up, guess what we're going to do next? We're going to have a work together group, or you're going to be silent for 2 minutes. So you can double up, triple up on all these classroom tools. Another great one that I like, and if you don't want them anymore, X them out, is the traffic light. So voices are off, we're not talking, and we're not talking for 1 minute. I'm going to give everybody 1 minute of think time. And after that minute goes, I can say yellow voices, or I can say green voices. So that way, there's another visual for you. Crowd pleaser is the dice or the die. You can roll the die. So all those instances where you do probability, you would roll the die. You can do cold calls. If every student has their own numbers, 1 through 6, well, guess what? I want to hear from student 3, student 5, and student 2. Not only that, I want to hear from student 3, 2. Give me 2 things that you learned. Student 2, give me 1. Student 5, give me 1. Another great feature is the spotlight. So I'm going to put back to the PC so y'all can see the spotlight. And you notice if I'm switching back and forth between the PC, I can still access those classroom tools. So let me hop back to my PC. And my classroom tools are still, if I hit this little button, they're always going to be right up top, ready for me to use. So I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to hop back home because I lost my tools. So if that ever happens, just hop back home, click it, and they will open on up for you. So it's right here. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to find. So I'm in my classroom tools and I want to do this spotlight feature, which I absolutely love. So I'm going to play my video, whatever it is. I'm going to mute it for y'all. And I'm going to turn on my spotlight feature. The spotlight feature is one of my favorites. Down here, it's more transparent. I can make it more opaque. And I can move and draw my kids' attention to certain parts of my board. Not only that, I'm able to make it bigger. So we're going to be just looking at this. We're looking at the instructions. Don't worry about what the final product should look like yet. Any questions? Cool. And then this is what your final product's going to look like. You can make it bigger. You can make it smaller if you want them to focus on one portion of a diagram or a chart. And down here, you can change the transparency and make it more or less opaque for them. To get rid of it, just hit the door to get out. Another favorite is the curtain. So you have students doing presentations, or you have kids coming into your classroom and you don't want them to see what you're doing. Have this up and ready to go. And when you're ready to reveal, it will be there for you. So that was classroom tools on the Newline board. Another great feature is the Newline App Store. So if you want to, I'm going to go back to the beginning by hitting this little back button. So if you want to add this, you would go to Add, Orange tab, and Newline App Store. Notice how when I click it, it's there to go. So I can open this up, and I'm able to search for educational games, videos, and I can install any of these onto my Newline board ready to go. This would be more for the elementary school students. So in order to install, you just click Khan Academy for Kids, and I'm going to hit install. And you do this one time. After you install it once, it will be on your gadgets, and then you can move it to your toolbar if you want. So just waiting for this Khan Academy Kids to load up. And this is real time, takes a couple minutes, so you could even do this as the kids are kind of exchanging groups if you forgot prior to. But like I said, once you have it set up ready to go, you are good. So down here, I'll get an install button in a second. And then after that, I will get a button that will say done. And I will hit that done button. So in this Newline App Store, you have tons of different apps. So I hit done instead of open. So now I'm going to go back to my screen. I'm going to go back to my Newline App Store. And I can see right here that I have it ready to open. If I would have hit open, it would have opened it right away. So I have this ready to go, y'all. Pretty cool. I'm going to hit the home button. And then you can also add them. So if I go to add, since I've already added the Khan Academy, see down here how now I have two screens. I can add Khan Academy, PBS Games, Peppa Pig. I can add whatever I want down there. Be mindful that you get 5 spots. So depending on what 5 things you want to keep there. And we have PBS Kids video, in which you have access to a ton of programs. Arthur, Curious George. You don't have a ton of selection amongst what episode you want, but if you hit the next button, it will load another episode. And you can have closed captions on for your kiddos as well. So that was Classroom Tools, Engadget, and the Newline App Store. So I showed y'all Classroom Tools and the Newline App Store. Now I'm going to show you all the whiteboard. So there's a few things that I discussed in the whiteboard. Let me get rid of these first, y'all, and I'll show you how to get rid of that in a minute. So right up here, if you hit this gear, you can have it set to write with pen only or write with your finger and pen. If you tend to hit it with your elbow, with your hair, if you got flowy, beautiful kimonos on, maybe do pen only, so that way you don't have to worry about it switching on you. I like pen and finger. You can default set stuff, so that way it's always that way when you want it ready to go. Down here is your page view. If you hold this, it will show you what pages you have. And if you just hit the plus button, it will just add blank pages for you. If you hold down the plus sign, you are able to change the color of your board by hitting add. Notice how it add a new slide. And I can also change the color and the pattern, so I can have some white graph paper. Now I have 4 things added. So if I click on that, I am able to see all the ones that I have. If I want to delete one, I can highlight and hit delete. If I want to delete all, I can hit select, select all, and delete all of them. I'm going to keep a couple for now. And I would also like to add something else just for a little differentiation so we can see all the different pages. If that is not a blast from the past, I'm not sure what is. I'm going to hop back and I'm going to go back to my first one because I want a nice plain one to show you all these tools. So my pencil, my highlighter, normal, change color, change thickness. Now, if I want to erase, I have 3 different options. I can erase everything at once. If I hit the undo button, it will bring it back. I can hit the eraser. Sometimes you have to click it twice. I can erase 1 line at a time. Or if I hit the eraser again and hit this one, I can erase little bits at a time. And I can also use my kind of hand to do that as well. So a couple different options for erasing. Then you have this lasso tool, which is probably one of my favorites. You are going to draw a circle around whatever you want to capture, and notice how it's all selected. I finished my notes and I realized, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was writing my notes in yellow, and that is not very easy for my kiddos to see. So I'm just going to change it, and notice it changes all of the lassoed objects to whatever color I want. I am also able to cut it and paste it somewhere else by holding down and hitting the paste button. You can also notice I can make it smaller. So let's say I'm taking notes and I realize I took up too much of the board, but I still want my kids to be able to see what I was doing. I can lasso it, I can move it, and then if I click on it, I can even hit lock, so that way they don't go anywhere, which is pretty cool. And if I want to unlock it, I hit it again and hit unlock. So a couple different options for this, y'all. Like I said, you can pull notes that you've already created and move them to the side so you can start a new set. You can have a student come up to the board and you can have them, see I'm still on lasso, so now I have to hit the pen again. You can have them do whatever the problem is, and then you have another student that you want to come up to the board. Well, I'm going to lasso this for Jose. I'm going to move Jose's work to the edge, and then now I'm going to have Samantha up. And now Samantha's going to come and she's going to do her work. And I'm going to lasso Samantha's work, and I'm going to pull it over here. And then by the time you're done, you have this entire board full of everybody's work, and you can screenshot it and save it. There's also another couple different options. You can do behind or in front of, so if you want to layer work, you can do that as well. And I copied and pasted by hitting that button. Now, if I hit this top button that looks like a pencil on paper, and I hit it again, it is going to screenshot whatever was on that page. So you have a couple different options that you can use that from. It is already going to take a screenshot of this page automatically. Hit the annotation tool and then the gear. If I do not want auto screenshot, I can turn that on and off. I like the auto screenshots because I can always save what my students are working on. Down here, I can select how much I want to take a picture of. I can take a picture of something that I crop, or I can take a picture of the whole entire screen. So notice how I screenshot that and then I put it right on the board. So there was another way I showed y'all in PLC. So this is an even easier way than going to the PC and screenshotting. So if you are on the markup tab, down here at the bottom right, you can hit this camera and you can screenshot whatever you would like. If I want to delete it, I can delete it. So I'm going to clean up my screen so I can show you all the next stuff. So I can add some shapes. I can add arrows and some circles, maybe to make some concept maps. I can make some Venn diagrams by having my 2 circles. And I can have my Venn diagram up here ready to go for my kids. And I can write in it, you know, what's the difference between, we were doing phases of matter. So solid versus liquid. What's the difference? What's the similarities? And then it's saved on a page and you have it there ready to go. Next, if I would like to insert, I hit these 3 little dots and I can insert sticky notes, which are pretty cool. Can change the color. I can insert them and I want them bigger. I'm going to hit this little tool here. It looks like a compass and I'm going to pull and I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. If I want to get rid of them, I can delete. So I just have this one. And if I want to make it bigger, hit that navigation tool and I can make it up to 300. What's also great about this is if I want more whiteboard space, I can kind of pull and now I have a brand new space for my whiteboard. I can insert text box like I just showed you, and you can insert an image. So this is where all of your screenshots live, the 3 dots and then image. And these are all the screenshots I have taken for today. So notice that it does not take a screenshot unless you hit that annotation screen and then see it pulled it. And now I have a new screenshot there ready to go. If you want to head back, you can hit the whiteboard or the back button. I can insert documents. If I go to tools, there's tons of different rulers, protractors that I can use. And I can pull them and I can rotate them and notice how the degree of angle is changing. And if I want to X out of it, I can X out of it. If I want to insert an image for them to measure, I can insert an image and I can have them measuring the length of each of the squares. Want to get rid of all of it? Clear. That will get rid of all of the parts. However, since these are tools, you'll have to delete those yourself. If you didn't mean to, you can always use the back button as well. One of my favorites is 3 dots, canvas, split mode. This is where you can have 2 students doing their work, but they can't write on each other's paper, which is pretty cool. They have the option to clear, use different pen sizes and pen colors, and erase. If you want 3 split, 3 dots up top, 3 split, and now I have my 2 students doing work, but I have a buffer in between, so I don't have to worry about them messing each other's stuff up. Another suggestion from one of the team members was this is where you put your task list, and you have the 2 students working. If you want to take a screenshot, hit that little button and it pulled it, and now I have a screenshot ready to go. And if I go to my 3 dots, add image, I can see that my screenshot that I just took is right there. So if I want to pull up a student's work from yesterday, I can pull it up on the board and I can make it smaller. Let me get out of this, hold on, back. Can make it smaller and I can kind of move it around wherever I would like. Which is pretty awesome. Okay, y'all, I think I showed you all of those fun things. So let me clear this and show you the last fun thing. So if you are taking notes on your board or there's some kind of an image that you want the students to keep. So for instance, we were discussing solid, liquid, gas. Put this up, I can hold down and I can crop it by hitting this button, and I can crop it and make it exactly just what I want. So if I screenshotted it from my PC side, there's my chart. We have a little bit of writing on it. So let's say solid is tightly packed. so on and so forth. So pretend that I have this all filled out. If I want my students to have a copy of it, I go over here and I click on this little QR code button. I always pick PDF. You can save it however you would like, and then export. As long as you are on GCISD wireless with your phone or a Chromebook, you can scan the QR code and it will ask you to view or download. I'm just going to hit view, and then it will show you every single page that we have saved from today, which is spectacular, because then the kiddos on their way out or right before they pack up can scan this, and then from there, once you have it up and in your phone, then you are able to share it however you would like. So I'm able to email, I'm able to add it to my drive, however I want to share this, I am able to do so. X button. Yeah, I mean, aside from this button right here, which just brings you back to the last thing you did. So if I'm on PC, and then I go to my whiteboard, when I hit this button, it will bring me back to my PC. So that way I'm quickly able to still annotate. I can talk about this. I can flip back to this one. Notice how those other annotations aren't on there. So I'm able to kind of quickly flop between my two resources or my two types of media. I think that's it, y'all. Reach out if you have any questions. If you want me to come in, show you in person, it's a little bit easier. If you're not the type of learner that can follow along on the screen, no worries. Reach out. Also, please do not forget to follow me on Twitter at Gina, that's me, in tech. Because I used to be an instructional technology coach, and I'm not changing my Twitter handle. Okay, that's it, y'all. Bye.